because that's like constantly this, but like the Super Mario Maker shit constantly this, just like what the fuck is this? Like they go like 3 different screens and zones and pipes without ever touching like the ground. They're just like doing the fucking shell bounce bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just like, Jesus Christ.
By the way, I turned my stream back on because I'm playing Warframe and we're just hanging out. Dog fell asleep.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just telling you. Just in case you were going to say something crazy. But,
well, you know me.
Yeah. You know me. You know what I want to do, though, at some point is try and learn...
Crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine is something I want to do. I want to learn to speedrun a game. Pretty soon.
Yeah?
I'm thinking Super Mario Bros. Just because it's short. Like, I think you can do, like, it in 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. You gotta love the game, though. Like, it's gotta be something that you never get sick of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of speedrunners speedrun multiple games. And,
yeah, I'm just saying that's just what I've heard from speedrunners. Is, like, make sure it's a game that you, like, absolutely love. Because you're probably gonna get sick of it.
Oops.
For me, it'd probably be Super Metroid.
Yeah? I wonder how long that takes. I don't think I've ever watched a Super Metroid speedrun.
It only takes, like, you can finish it in... I know you can finish it in, like, 45 minutes.
Yeah? 45 minutes is about, like, where you're pushing it. You know what I mean?
No, I'm saying, like, I know I can finish it in, like... I can finish it in, like, an hour. Like, an hour, hour 15.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm pretty sure you can do it in, like... I was gonna say 15 minutes, but I feel like that's, like, maybe too much. Hold on.
Another game I want to try is Symphony of the Night, because I was in it recently and I realized that the weirdly enough the
okay, I'm seeing one an hour. Okay, right now, yeah. So I was okay. So in game time, 28 minutes. Real time, 41 minutes, 33 seconds is the record.
Interesting. So, like,
held by Behemoth 87.
So I was looking randomly at the Symphony of the Night, like, leaderboards.
Yeah.
On 360, and apparently people are, like, beating that game in, like, 20 minutes.
Which game?
Symphony of the Night, Castlevania.
How the hell do you beat that game in 20 minutes?
See, I'm thinking, and I don't know this for a fact because I haven't watched one of those speed runs, so I don't know. But I'm thinking what they do is, you know, in the very beginning when you just are super powerful and you're just killing everything in like one hit. I'm thinking they're doing something where they're glitching past the Reaper and keeping all that stuff.
Oh yeah, you have to, for sure.
Like,
by the way, the world record for Super Mario Brothers is 4 minutes 56 seconds.
Yeah, see, that's like a good starting point, right? Like, well, I don't mean like I'm gonna get 4 minutes. I just mean like the game that's world record is 4 minutes. Like that means that the average is gonna be like 8, right? So that seems like a good place to start.
The people at, let's see, let me scroll down as far. The person who's 530th in the world is at 6 minutes.
Marines inbound.
Sorry, wait, hold on. No, that's 6 hours.
What?
Yeah, 530 is the last person. I scrolled all the way down the bottom of the.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. So the person, okay, so 529th is 5 hours 23 minutes. 528th place is 4 hours 3 minutes. 527th is 1 hour.
Is it 100% though? Is it no level skips?
No, but like, look at, like, it's like 6 hours. I'm just gonna count up from 530.
But I'm saying like that changes it. Like if it's 100% with no.
No, it's any percent.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, okay.
It's any percent. 6 hours. The next person is 5 hours 23 minutes. The next person is 4 hours 3 minutes. The next person is 1 hour 1 minute. The next person is 1 hour. The next person is 54 minutes The next person is 30 minutes. The next person is 15 minutes.
Jesus. I wonder
So like
why they even clock those times though.
The last 7, they're probably the last people that are registered as speedrunners that clocked any time at all.
Yeah, they're like, I'm on the leaderboard. Yeah.
Yeah, but like going up to 500th place, it's already under 8 minutes. So like the last 30 people, like the last 10 people. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The last 15 people on the list are all between 10 minutes and 6 hours. Everybody 515th place and below is under 10 minutes. And then it like there's a lot of 7s, a lot of 6 minutes, of metric shit ton of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then like the top.
But that's my point.
The top 44 are all like sub 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like it's a fairly fast game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So like learning it, I imagine will be difficult, but like it's not going to be super time consuming.
Yeah, so number 1, any percent is 4 minutes 56 seconds. Warpless is 19 minutes 3 seconds.
Warpless.
So even still, that's not bad.
19 minutes. Yeah, that's not too bad. But yeah.
You got to run your butt off though.
Oh yeah.
But that's a great game. Hold on, let me see what Mario Brothers 3 is.
Isn't it like 10 minutes? At least back in the day, I feel like I watched one that was 10 minutes. Because there's a couple level skips in Mario 3. There's like the flute and stuff, right?
Why am I trying to look up Super Mario Brothers 3 and it's prompting me for 3D Land, 3D World, and another Super Mario 3D? Why do you not know what Super Mario Brothers 3 is? Oh, crap. Cuphead speedruns.
Oh, yeah?
24 minutes 55, yeah.
That's funny.
All of them are on PC. Oh, wait, no, there's one on Xbox One. Nope, there's 2 on Xbox One. All the rest are on PC, though. That's funny. Okay, that's regular. What about expert? 27 minutes, 21 seconds. Simple mode, 18 minutes, 18 seconds. That makes sense, though, because in simple mode, you can't fight the last 2 bosses.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they prevent you. You can't fight the dice guy or the devil in simple mode. Because I looked that up. Because I looked it up because I was like, oh, dude, they have co-op speedruns.
Nice.
Crap. There's only 4 runs. There's only 4 co-op speedruns, or 3. Yeah, 4 co-op speedruns. 3 of them are for simple mode, and 1 of them's for regular. That's crazy.
I imagine it's a pretty small community of people running that game, though, right?
Yeah, there's only 45 registered runs.
Not like a Mega Man X or something.
Oh, let's look.
Which is also a fun speed run to watch.
Mega Man X.
Dude, where is this terminal?
Mega Man X, 31 minutes. 31 minutes, 80 any percent. 35 minutes, 100%.
Oh, I hacked that like right under the wire. What, I didn't? Come on! Ah, thought I did. Sorry.
Mario. Super Mario. Show me Super Mario.
Show me potato salad.
Show me potato salad. Super Mario Brothers 3. There it is. Okay. Super Mario Brothers 3. 1 hour, 10 minutes, 19 seconds. Jeez Louise.
Really? Is that without skips though?
Oh wait, hold on. That's 100%. Why is 100% in the first? Okay.
Who the hell knows?
In every one of them, the first in every single one of them that I've seen so far, the first tab that's auto-populated is any percent. In this one, it's 100%. Why is that the case?
I don't know.
Any percent. Holy crap! 3 minutes.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Any percent. Super Mario Bros. 3. 3 minutes 4 seconds.
I don't know about you, but I'm an any percent kind of guy.
Oh, for sure. Beat the game as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
That's literally the point of it. And that's the problem with, like, I watched a Super Metroid speedrun where a guy got to Ridley, and because you don't get anything, like, you don't get anything extra, you have, like, nothing. And so you end up having to do a bunch of charge shots to fight him. And you have, like, no health either. So, like, he got, like, towards the end of his health and got hit just one too many times as he was in his death throes. And it ended. And, of course, you don't save speedrun because saving takes time.
Yeah.
And so the dude literally just pulled out his acoustic guitar and started playing. Like, it was so sad. Yeah. Okay, 100% for Super Mario Bros. 3, 1 hour, 10 minutes. Any percent warpless, 50 minutes, 57 seconds. Any percent no wrong warp, 10 minutes. And any percent, 3 minutes. I don't know what no wrong warp means. I guess that means you can't, like, maybe there's some exploit. Either. There's probably some exploit that you can do with the warping that, like, takes you to the place where you're not supposed to be able to get to, maybe.
Maybe.
And then, so that's what shaves off that 7 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe. What else do we need to look up? What else do we want to know about speedruns? What game you want to know for speedruns? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Since I wrote an article about it yesterday or today, Demon Souls.
Demon Souls speedruns, huh?
Demon Souls speedrun. Any percent, 46 minutes.
Whew.
That's amazing.
How do you
any percent
pull that off?
Any percent glitchless, 52 minutes.
Glitchless.
Oh my god, there are speedruns for the Platinum Trophy.
Oh my goodness.
That is outrageous. Especially because it's luck-based. Like, how do you even do that, dude? I had to freaking trade with people. I actually put that in my article. That, like, if you're getting the Platinum Trophy in this game, like, it is what made way easier by being able to trade with people online. So, like, get it before the servers go offline. So.
Oh, yeah, because they're shutting the servers down. I forgot about that. That was announced today, right?
Yeah, I wrote the article on that. It's February 2018. So.
There, I got the freaking data.
They are going down. Which is such a bummer. Such a bummer.
How much you want to bet someone, because there's that PS3 emulator on PC now, and people have been modding the game. How much you want to bet somebody's going to run a private server for Demon Souls?
I'm pretty sure people are already doing it.
Are you? You should Google. You should see. I bet if they're not right now, they will be. I remember back in the day, there was a way where you could hack your original Xbox and play on, like, a fake Xbox Live. And I remember connecting to it on a friend's Xbox, and there were people playing Halo 2 before it had come out because the disc had leaked or whatever.
Weird.
And so people were hosting games, and I remember there being a notice on the actual service saying, please stop hosting Halo 2 games. Like, you're gonna get us sued or something. And then that service did not stick around much longer. Because, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I imagine that PS3 one will have its own servers at some point. I see that happening. Games get shut down, and people always find a way, you know, to keep them alive.
Yeah, I mean, when a community is super passionate about stuff, like, that's just kind of, it's a good thing that people do that. And with a game as iconic and kind of trend-setting as Demon Souls that does things that none of the other Souls games have done. Like, I mean, that's... I hope they do.
Yeah.
There is a prisoner here that is vital to
I still
our
need to,
operations.
like... We need to do... we tried to do it with Neo, but then Neo had the stupid co-op system. We need to do, like, a Dark Souls 3 co-op
Yes!
run. Because I haven't beaten that game. I own it on PC, though. I don't know where
So do I.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. I got it on PS4, and then it was on sale after I built my new PC, and I was like, I want to see what this performs like, and it's awesome. So I actually still haven't played the final DLC. I haven't played the Ring City because I heard maybe not so super flattering things about it, and so I don't know. There's still that one little piece of Souls content that I haven't done,
You've been detected.
and I guess I haven't done any of the DLC for Dark Souls 2. But I've done everything else. I platinumed Demon Souls and Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. But Dark Souls 2, I'm not a giant.
I think Dark Souls 2 is the one I probably played the most, weirdly enough.
I honestly, me too, but just because I think that game's the longest.
I think it's just because...
I'd probably take that back. It's probably Dark Souls 3 because I played it several times. And I platinumed it, of course, on PS4, and then I played a bunch of it on PC as well.
I think what I ended up doing was... I had played Bloodborne and was like, oh, I actually like this.
Because it's awesome.
And then wanted to go try Dark Souls again. And so I ended up getting... I just looked at GameStop to see like which one was there, and they had Dark Souls 2 used for like $15, and I was like, sure. And I think that's why... That's
why you got
I've
number
played
2.
the most, yeah. So...
I mean, 2's not bad. 2 has some of the coolest bosses.
That system with the your health and you having
Hollowing.
to burn the thing
Yep.
is kind of annoying, but
It is. That's the worst part. I mean, well, that part, and I'm assuming you bought Scholar the First Sin for PS4. That was the version you got?
I guess I don't actually know.
Okay, because in Scholar of the First Sin, they reorganized where they reworked enemy placement, and it made some of the stuff easier, but it made some of the stuff way harder. So Scholar is actually more... I've heard people say it's more difficult. I've also heard people say it's like a better way to play it. And they didn't make it sound like it was necessarily about difficulty. But it was good, so.
It's like, I was just talking about this game with Dave yesterday. I was like, you know, I like a lot of things about Warframe, but weirdly, I hate the way it looks.
Yeah.
I think its art style is just, like, ugly. And some people like it, so I'm not knocking them, but, like, I just think it looks gross. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, like, the
I've
game's
waited
pretty
forever.
fun, so it's like,
You've been locked out. It's override.
just put up with it, I guess. Oh my god, I gotta hack something. I also I have so much, so much platinum in this game, like the premium currency, I don't know what to even do with it.
Yeah.
It's like I can literally like I could probably buy almost everything in the store if I wanted. I imagine. I could buy people suits. Like, I could do all kinds of stuff, but I don't really know anyone that plays this game, so it's like, just kind of play by myself. Oh, crap.
You are running out of time.
Damn it. Who do you think you are? Get out of my face. I'm the frickin' guy, alright? I'm the gross space ninja that everyone's talking about.
This is the jail. Our hostage is in one of these cells.
She's so cute sleeping. Yeah, man, you know, I don't know how to feel about Final Fantasy
Subject
right
found.
now.
You need to bring the captive to safety. Protect them at all costs.
It's kind of making me just want to play WoW.
Yeah, it's making me not want to play it or WoW.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, you know?
I want to, I want to see it through, like, to at least a little further, you know? Like, I want to get all of us in a group playing, but, like...
Yeah, I definitely... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play with you guys for as long as I have time left that doesn't require me to pay
yeah, I'm not
additional
gonna
money.
probably pay either way, unless the game sucks me in, which I doubt it's gonna do.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see, but I doubt it's gonna do that. So, oh crap. Where you at, guy? Oh! Nope, person died. I failed the mission.
You let the hostage die. This mission is over.
Whoops. All right, let's try that again, I guess. We'll do a different mission. We'll do this one. Yeah, Final Fantasy is... Man, I really want to like it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But there are things about it that I do like. I really like the music.
Communications towers are broadcasting crucial enemy intelligence. Capture
I
the
like...
That's not bad.
and decode any incoming messages.
I don't know. There's some things about it, like, I go back and forth on the combat. Like, there's things about it I like, and there's things I don't like about it. The global cooldown just feels so long.
Tower captured. Beginning stream
I'm not a big
decode.
fan of that. Like, I feel, I maybe it's just because I'm so used to WoW and, like, being able to do abilities faster. Maybe I'm spoiled.
You have captured a radio tower.
I mean, maybe.
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 Oh my god.
The enemy have taken a tower. You must recapture it.
Oh my god, it must be late for you. I just realized.
It always is
Yeah.
when we're hanging out.
Tower online.
What are those things?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to jet pretty soon
Yeah, it's fine.
to go to slaps.
Probably gonna finish this mission and then that'll be it. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
This
I'm
tower
bored.
is
Maybe I'll go
ours
play
now.
some Destiny or something. Do some more Iron Banner before it ends. But even that, it's like, oh, I'm just kind of waiting for the expansion, you know?
Yeah. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I feel like I'm the only one in the office who's excited.
Destin isn't excited?
No.
Interesting.
Most people are, like, really bummed out about it.
Why? I feel like it's a stronger
Like,
package
oh,
than
it's
the
not
original.
addressing any of the changes that we want and stuff. And I'm like, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
My thing is, like, this expansion was probably done, like, practically done by the time the game launched. And they've just been doing bug fixes and stuff on it. So, like, we'll see. They're supposed to have Luke Smith and stuff on the stream, like, on the actual stream Wednesday. Him and Mark knows where they're going to actually, like, talk about that stuff. Like, they're going to talk about the changes players want and how things are going and, like, be vocal with them and stuff. Because, like, a lot of stuff's been even just breaking lately. Like, there's supposed to be a Clarion call right now, which is, like, the double XP thing, and it's just broken. And, like, not working. So there's just no double XP. And, like, I saw someone point out that, like, the first patch will be with the expansion, which means that Destiny 2, as its vanilla game, has received 0 patches, basically. And I'm like, yeah, I guess, like, that kind of makes sense, but I can see why they would want to wait until, like, PC was there and they wanted to get all their ducks in a row, you know, but I don't know.
I just got a tweet back from 10 Tons about my review of Judge.
From who?
10 Tons Limited. They made Neon Chrome and Judge and Time Reach, which are twin stick shooters for Switch, and I reviewed the first 2 of those games. And my Judge review just went live today, and they just replied to my review. They said, thanks for the review. We'll be updating the game soon to lower the medal requirements for level unlocks and even adding the option to pretty much remove it altogether, which was like one of my biggest complaints about the game, is that it requires you to retread old levels a lot to get. Yeah. So basically, but after you beat the game, there are. So when you start the game, there's only one difficulty level for each stage. And then when you get to a certain point in the game, it adds a second one. And then each stage has 3 objectives that you can get. Each one that you complete will give you a medal. Your total number of medals that you have determine what story missions you can undertake. And then at a certain point in the story, when you get really late, they add a 3rd difficulty. So then you basically have to go back to the beginning of the game and do all of those levels at harder difficulties and do different things.
So it's just a way to add it a little bit. Like,
basically.
Yeah.
And it's kind of.
I don't mind that if it's not a story game. Like, did you play a Skyforce Anniversary?
No. And to be perfectly honest, the story's super thin. It's a twin stick shooter. Like, it's basically like go in, save the hostages, kill all the gang members, defeat the freaking post-apocalyptic death machine. You know, that sort of thing. Like, it's basically if you combine Judge Dredd and RoboCop, like, that's what it is. So don't expect some freaking crazy story from it. If you like twin stick shooters, like, it's pretty good twin stick shooter and it's cheap, so it's not bad.
But like in Skyforce Anniversary is like it's a shmup, and so it's just like planes, right? It's like 1942, like just your run-of-the-mill shmup, but like it has a leveling system. So like you level your plane up by playing levels and destroying things, and you collect stars. And then when you can spend your stars on like making your beam more powerful, giving you more health, giving you missiles, giving you like more stuff, and like upgrading those things. There's literally no plot. It's just like levels, but it does the same exact thing that you were just describing, where there's one difficulty tier and you have 4 different medals that you can achieve. One's like save all the humans, one of them's like destroy 70% of the enemies, destroy 100% of the enemies, and like never get hit. And you can do them across multiple playthroughs and stuff. But like you end up kind of just replaying the same missions a lot, like grinding stars, and also just finishing, getting more medals, and then it unlocks more difficulties as you go, which also have those medals, but the enemies are like harder and stuff. So
yeah, it's the exact same thing.
But like I don't actually mind that in that kind of game, because I like shmups, and I don't want stories in them. I just want to shoot stuff. And I like the progression of like, oh man, my beams are better. Now maybe if I go back to the first mission on the 3rd difficulty tier, maybe I can actually get 100% of the kills now because my stuff's stronger, you know?
Yeah. And there's definitely some of that, you earn money as you go, and you can upgrade your weapons and get different passive abilities and stuff that make different things easier. So it's like, it's not bad. Like, I still had a good time in the game. And Nintendo doesn't do numbered reviews right now. Mm-hmm. But like, I would have given it a good score. Like, I probably, if I had to give it a review, I probably would have given it like probably 7.5, something like that. Like, it's not bad.
Interesting.
It's just like there are some things that kind of hold it back. There's a little bit of frame stuttering. The fact that you're forced to replay so many of those different things. Like, I think it would be cool if you wanted to, like, one of the things I said in my review is like, if players want to get all of the medals in a stage, like, that's awesome. And if you incentivize them to like give them different rewards and stuff, but like maybe it would be, maybe it would be better, and I'm just like spitballing and Monday morning quarterbacking, but like maybe it would be cool to like have, okay, if you get all the objectives on the first level, you get like a special passive, like a really potent passive, or like a cool gun type or something. Mm-hmm. Instead of just be like, you can't see the end of the game yet.
Yeah.
And granted, it's like, it's not amazing. It's cool. Like, it's one of those things. And the thing that I will give 10 Tons is that they have cool ideas. Like, the idea in Neon Chrome, like the premise, like the premises of their games are really, really strong. They would have been really interesting to examine in like a BioShock type of game. Like, where you have enough time to really flesh out they don't really take that time to do those sorts of things. So like, Neon Chrome was a roguelike, so I got really aggravated with it because I fucking hate roguelikes. And I'm not particularly incredible at like bullet hell type of games because I never really played those growing up. I played like one ever, and it was like
really, I love bullet hell games.
It was a freaking coin op place, like at a local sub shop. So like, I played there when my parents would give me money to do it, and when we went there, which those things did not coincide hardly ever. So it's like, I think I played that game like 3 times, and I think people were saying it was like Raiden was the name of the game or whatever.
Oh, that sounds really familiar, actually.
It was cool. Yeah, I think Sam Claiborne told me that was what it was. So like, I'm not super great at that, but like, the premise of the first one is there is a giant building called Neon Chrome, and it's watched over by an overseer, and basically think like Fallout overseers, but like on freaking steroids. Mm-hmm. Like, not only are they in charge of everything and they like run everything in the place, but they can also, since this is like super futuristic, they can also assume direct control of any person inside of Neon Chrome. So like in Mass Effect 2. Like basically everybody has these AI implants and whatever, and so the Overseer can just possess your body and take control of your actions and make you do whatever to stop you from doing something illegal, or to like kind of basically use you as like a hive swarm against, you know, hostile forces. Well, here comes the protagonist, and the protagonist is a hacker that's trying to free Neon Chrome from the tyranny of the Overseer. And so basically the Overseer finds out what she's doing and basically says, oh, the trust score for your floor is it's just very low. You need to stay still and wait while we extract you. And then basically the Overseer sends in a whole like strike team and just mows everybody down in that level. So apparently like there's like this ranking, and like if you fall below a certain extent, they just kind of get rid of you. So it's very interesting dystopian world, but like they do almost nothing with that for the whole game. So it's like, it's such an interesting thing. And then it's trapped in this roguelike, in this, you know, in this genre of game that I really am not a fan of. So instead of, you know, and I will say, and I'm going to reply to them on Twitter and say this, but like, I have to give 10 Tons credit. Like they are listening and they're making like a lot of really good changes to their games to kind of like hone in on what they do well. So like Judge, which is Judge, but spelled with a Y. So people have been saying Jidge, but it's pronounced Judge. They just replace, it's like Mortal Kombat. They just replace all the U's with Y's in the game. So like Justice is spelled with a Y. It's dumb. It's real dumb. Justice. I got to get some justice. But like they changed Judge, and now it's like just short bite-sized levels like Hotline Miami. And it's like, this is a lot better because with the top-down like twin stick shooter mechanics. I mean, they were strong in Neon Chrome. I just didn't like Rogue. Now they've put it into a game where it's like you get these tiny bite-sized levels. There's a tiny room. You need to, or like a really small house with like 3 or 4 rooms and a pool table and some stuff. And you have to go in there and rescue 2 hostages and keep them from getting killed as they try to escape to your car, and then escape if you want. Oops. Or you can kill everybody, or you can do it without being seen, or you can do it without being hit. You know what I mean? Like there's all this crazy stuff. And then you get like passive abilities where like if you're standing still, enemies can't see you. If you are standing in shadows or like moving around in shadows, enemies can't see you. You know, there's an ability called Revenger where if you take any damage, it's amplified 10 times and reflected on the person who did it to you. So it's like, if you're, and there's like, you can totally get like, okay, here's a buff for 150% health. Here's a buff where you only take 50% damage. Here's a regenerating shield that you can equip. You know, you can have a sniper rifle. You can update your thing to be like a shotgun. It can have like lightning balls that like shoot out like electricity and chain it across the room. There's all sorts of crazy stuff. You can have little spider drones that go around and attack people for you. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. And in Judge, you're a cyborg police officer that's basically sanctioned to be judge, jury, and executioner for everybody. So your goal is to save the citizens and like take back the streets of like this major city. And if you fail, or if you harm an innocent civilian, then it actually kills you. So like you basically just explode into jibs.
Jibs, huh?
Jibs, little giblets.
Dank jibs.
Little judge jibs.
Jesus Christ.
But like it's interesting, and apparently in the so basically, Judge is set in the same universe as Neon Chrome, and it's kind of a prequel spinoff. And then they came out with Time Recoil afterwards, and basically they made the changes to Judge based off of player feedback that they got from Neon Chrome, and based off of feedback they got from Judge, they made a game called Time Recoil, which is supposedly like I think it gives you control over time. Or like there's additional cool mechanics, but it's the same top-down thing made in the same engine, all that sort of stuff. But apparently it's supposed to focus more on story. So, there's a really interesting through line of like 3 games that are coming out relatively, soon. They're all ported pretty close together to the Switch. So I'm actually able to kind of get a time lapse of what the company is doing and like kind of their philosophy. And it's fascinating because I can't think of another developer who so obviously is taking player feedback into consideration. And like the way that they responded to the tweet about my review makes it obvious that they read it. So,
that's a big misconception I think a lot of people have. Like game developers do read reviews.
I assume they read all of them, especially because this is an indie development. Oh, yeah. And so not a lot of people are covering this game.
Yeah, they read reviews a lot of times. Like they know.
And I didn't write it for IGN. I wrote it for Nintendo. So it's like it's not. It's not a given that the review would be read. You know what I mean?
Oh sure. Yeah.
But still.
But I think lots of developers want to know. They want to know what people think, and they go hunt that stuff down. Like,
I've had developers thank me just for tweeting about my game, like just reviewing it in 280 characters.
Heavy infestation ahead.
Or something like that. And so it's especially indie developers can be very. I don't know. I love engaging with developers, especially indies.
I love
because they're incredibly dialed in to what's going on, and especially based off of like what I've listened to a lot of kind of game philosophy, courtesy of, be it, the handful of hours that I to like IGN and Unfiltered, or listening to like the Idle Thumbs podcasts where you've got Sean Vanneman and Jake Rodkin, Chris Remo, and all those guys.
Knows that Sean Vanneman guy, I think.
Oh yeah,
or at least his acquaintances.
Yeah, because he and Jake Rodkin be at Telltale.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they were in charge of Sean Vanneman and Jake Rodkin were in charge. And then they split off, and they made Campo Santo, and then who was it? Fulbright was with them as well, and then he put out Tacoma and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think she met him shortly before he left.
Yeah, those guys are just incredibly bright.
Oh yeah.
And so I've learned a lot by listening to, that podcast, and just them talking about it's so obvious how smart they are.
Yeah.
And sure, people love, Gone Home and Firewatch and, Walking Dead Season 1, but these aren't incredibly. They're critically well received games, but they're these are high quality, games. But you wouldn't necessarily, from playing Firewatch, you wouldn't necessarily think the people that made this are freaking geniuses. They're incredibly in tune with the industry and what's going on and all of this sort of thing. So I have a feeling that a lot of developers, period, are a lot smarter and a lot more knowledgeable than a lot of people, and a lot more dialed in than people give them credit for.
You have to be smart to even be a game developer. Like,
I don't know that I could do any part of game development except writing, or like maybe like team management, like those.
But even those are big, like, hard skills. Like,
for sure. Like I'm good at encouraging people and helping them find like what they do well and keep. And I'm a decent writer, but like the degree to which these people are skilled is something that like I would love to give it a shot someday, but I'm not sure that I'll ever have that opportunity.
Yeah, I wanted to be a game developer for a long time, and then I started doing content creation, and that kind of just ended up being what I did. Like,
yeah.
I was like, you know, this is too hard. I'm not good at this. I like editing videos, you know, like, and running websites and stuff. It's something I had been trying to do since I was 12. Like, I've told this story at millions of IGN First Fridays that, like, I taught myself most of the things that got me my job. Like, it all started when I wanted to create a fan site for Phantasy Star Online because it was coming out on GameCube, and I was obsessed with it. And I learned HTML by sitting in our at the time we had a desktop computer in a closet upstairs. And
nice.
I literally learned HTML with a giant book called HTML. And
So you think you can HTML?
Yeah, and I sat at the computer in the closet, going page by page, learning what each of the brackets and the commands did, and learning like what everything did, and then experimenting. And it took a long time, but that's how I taught myself HTML. Like,
Mission complete.
and I did the same thing with video editing. I wanted to make anime music videos. I say that every time.
Yes.
At First Fridays, I tell them, you want to get a job at IGN, make anime music videos, because like.
So you did the freaking Superman Dragon Ball Z anime video.
I just like that's what I wanted to do, and so what I did was I just literally like I booted up Windows Movie Maker, and I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to do this, and I found out what the cut tool did, and after that, like I went off from there, and then I got Adobe Premiere, and I opened it up and was like, I have zero clue what I'm looking at, but then just tinkered and just kept going and learning. Like, I was like, what does this button do? Basically, just like, oh, that's what that does. I wonder how I do. Like, I want it to do this thing. I wonder how I do that. And like trying to figure it out. And I don't know. I'm the kind of person who just learns by like trying to figure stuff out. I don't know if.
Yep.
But I don't know. I tried doing my dabble in game development was RPG Maker.
Same.
That. Yeah. But it taught me so much. That's the thing. Like, I never thought about when making
it taught
games.
me that I did not start being a good level designer.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, right? Like, RPG Maker, every 12-year-old should have to use RPG Maker for like 10 hours. Because
you never know if you like it.
Well, that too, but also when I did it, I never thought about all the things that go into making a game. Like, I need to think about, do I want this character to just stand still forever, or do I want to give them a walking path? Like, what do I write in this content thing for them to say? Do I give them vocal choices? And if I have choices, I branch them off. And then also, like, I can put in conditions, like, oh, if I've talked to this person already, there's a whole different dialogue tree page that I can do. Or, like, oh, after they finish this quest, I can have the sprite be different. Like, oh, they got their arm cut off or something. And, like, you start, like, the cogs start turning, right, on how games actually work at a fundamental level. And it's, like, not the most complicated game. Like, you could make something like an NES like Final Fantasy. Like you can make Final Fantasy 1 with RPG Maker, but you couldn't make like Final Fantasy 6. But at least gave you the building blocks and kind of the know-how to be like, oh yeah, this is how this works. Like I never thought of that. And then when you start playing an actual like a game later on, you start to think about the ways that these things fit together, how like the systems work. Which, coming full circle, is why I find speedruns so fascinating, because it's like people breaking down how games work at an actual, not a mechanical as in gameplay level, but an actual mechanical level, and like exploiting them. I find that really fascinating. I don't know how you feel about that kind of stuff.
I mean, I think all of this stuff is really interesting. And I don't know. I want to get more into it. Honestly, I've been thinking about like what I would do with my novel if that was made into a game. Like I ultimately in my mind, and I know that this is like incredibly ambitious and probably just ridiculously arrogant. Like I always thought that like the novel that I'm writing would like do really well, or at least have the potential based off of like what the story is. Like I think it would be really good as an anime. And I always imagined, because I've got like a playlist of songs that I wrote to for inspiration for my story. And one of them I can 100% see is like the opening cinematic. Like the beginning of every episode. You know, you do your cold open and then it cuts to like the freaking rock song, you know, anime montage, you know, opening like that. And like I know, like I actually drew, I'm awful at this, but like I drew like kind of storyboarding the freaking anime opening to it. And so I've been trying to figure out what genre it would be. And like a Final Fantasy type game would like not be the worst idea.
Yeah.
So I thought about making that in RPG Maker, but it's just like I have to dedicate the time to doing it, and the story isn't even done yet. So I'm like, I should probably finish writing the book.
It's really hard to make a game by yourself. Like
sure.
Like the one guy that made Stardew Valley, it took him like 8 years. So
yeah, or Tom Happ.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff, and that's like the thing people. Oh God, it infuriates me. Like when people are like, development's easy, you just do this, and it's like it's like they think it's just click
anybody
file,
who
save
says that
as, and now it's on Xbox One. You know,
yeah.
It's like no, that's not at all how it works. You know.
Yeah.
That's infuriating. That's why I've said, like, everybody who is serious about video games needs to try making a game, like, to give them perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Because it will show people how hard it is and how time-consuming it is. It's not like writing a novel where it's like, so-and-so did that, and that's what happened. Like, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you have to make the thing happen.
For so-and-so to do that, we had to make the environment, we had to make the physics, we had to make this and that, and it's like so intense, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the interesting thing is that I totally freaking lost my train of thought. I'm looking for a document. I'm trying to send in my stupid invoice to Goldfarb. Oh, and I can't fucking find it.
Crap.
Where are you, you piece of crap?
By the way, did you see that like top 500 Polygon games thing today?
No.
That everyone was making fun of?
No.
Polygon is doing like 500 best games of all time, and like the list is ridiculous. Like people were wondering if they were just being funny. Like that Kim Kardashian phone game is like in the 400s, And like Justin Davis tweeted something like, I hate being one of those guys, but for like, seriously, like this list says that this Kim Kardashian phone game is better than Catherine, The Witcher 2. Like he names all these things. It's like, I wonder like what. And they only posted like 500 to 401 or whatever, but I heard everyone in the office like kind of talking about it, and then they were talking about it on Twitter. A lot of people were talking about it on Twitter.
Ugh, that freaking beef.
That beef. I actually really like Polygon, but I don't know.
Oh, sure, me too. Me too. I just think it's funny.
I think it's funny too that like I think a lot of people who are in the industry read Polygon, but like people who aren't don't. I've found.
That's really funny because before I guess if we're gonna say this, like before I got into the industry,
I'd say you're quasi in it, yeah.
I'm a writer for 2 sites, and one of them's the biggest one, so I guess so. But like, it's okay. Awesome. There we go. But like before I was in the industry, like I totally read, like not super often, but I didn't read anything super often.
Yeah. I read the big Kotaku pieces when they come out too.
Basically, I keep an eye on IGN, Polygon, and Kotaku.
I don't read. I only read Kotaku when they post something really big, like the visceral thing. You know, like this is something to pay attention to.
I follow them on Twitter. I'll click into something that looks interesting.
Do you choose to leave now?
It's just sometimes they post like, this dog in Mario is incredible, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't look for all that stuff, but there's.
Like,
yeah,
all
there's
right,
some,
settle down.
yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the way for everybody, for everything, probably. So.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. And I mean, I just wish that. I mean, one of the things I wish is that people in the industry weren't so tight-lipped. Because after, not even when I got in, but when people I know got in, I heard lots of things that changed tons of my perspectives on what I thought. Like being someone on the outside who's like not on the in, you know?
Yeah.
It's way different because you think, because you hear everyone else, right? You hear everyone else talking about how, well, they did this because of this or whatever, but they don't actually know that. But then when you actually ask someone who's a developer and you're talking to them in confidence, they tell you the real story. You're like, oh, it's not really all that exciting, you know? Wasn't really all that dramatic.
Yeah.
It's infuriating, but also enlightening. And I wish that people weren't so tight-lipped about everything. Like we could talk about what it's like, you know. I mean, we can kind of talk about what it's like to work under embargo, but we can't like really talk about what it's like to be under embargo, you know.
Yeah.
And we can't really tell you what someone at like Studio X is saying about the game months before it comes out. Because, you know, they're telling you these things in confidence. Or, like, you know, even I've heard things, like, years ahead of time, sometimes, in some cases. Like, oh, this thing, you know, because I heard it from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone. This thing's coming out, and it's this, and this. And, like, you can't say anything, but that's happening. And you're like, oh, that's really cool. And then you forget about it until said thing is announced. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I heard about this like 2 years ago. you know, and it's just like it's so weird, but like it being in it, or at least on the outside, like on the very ring of it, is incredibly enlightening, and I wish that more people could experience it.
Yeah.
Because then maybe they'd shut up and have, you know, they'd have better opinions about some of the stuff that goes on.
Yeah, yeah. Like the way that this industry is fundamentally different from like the movie industry or whatever.
Right.
Like if things were more transparent like that, then we could maybe avoid all of the, not all, but like a good deal of the QQing about X, Y, or Z issue. Because there would be more of it would be common knowledge that like, hey, this is really like, this is harder than anything else.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't know a lot about like the film industry, and so there are some people who, when they talk about it, I listen, right? Because I don't know what
Terry
that world
Schwartz.
is like. I've never worked in it, right? What?
I said like Terry Schwartz.
Yes. Terry's amazing.
Yes. And she knows like freaking everything.
Yes. But like there's a couple YouTubers I follow who are like deep into film. Is something I'm super interested in, but I hate sitting and watching movies, funny enough.
I legit watched 2 movies yesterday, and I need to hold on before I forget. I need to update this in the freaking show
did
notes.
watch a movie yesterday.
Yeah.
But not.
What'd you watch?
You're gonna laugh, and I
probably.
I watched that Christmas Prince movie on Netflix.
Christmas Prince.
And here's why. This is why we watched it. So we were skimming Netflix, and I saw it, and I made a joke saying, "Oh yeah, Christmas Prince, let's watch that." And Nicole just pushed play. And I'm like, are we really doing this?
And you were like in on the joke for 10 minutes, and then you're like, oh, this
is what happened. So like, we started, she was like, I don't know, we'll see how bad it is. We start watching it, and within 5 minutes, we're like, man, this is terrible. But it was so bad that like,
it looped around to good.
We wanted to, it was bad, but we wanted to predict like what was going to happen. Like it was so by the books, right? Like
nice. So you're like, oh, dude, we know exactly
what the plot, the characters. We predicted like 75% of this movie, and so then it was sitting around. We were just making fun. I wish we'd recorded it because we were just like tearing this movie to pieces, and then we're like, man, this movie was really bad, but I'm having a ton of fun watching it with you.
Yeah,
because we're just like tearing it apart, and then calling it and just complaining about it, and we somehow watched the whole movie, but it was bad. I don't recommend anyone watch it.
Yeah,
but that was fun. But again, like I don't watch that much TV. I would say most people watch way more TV than I do.
Yeah,
but I really enjoy like the craft of filmmaking and like learning about it and stuff. And I enjoy like good editing because I'm a video editor, and so that's something that is really fascinating to me. Yeah, and like I like seeing movies that are well edited. Like my favorite movie this year was Baby Driver because the editing in that movie is like some of the best movie editing I think I've ever seen. Maybe ever. Like it is phenomenal. And if I could, I would write multiple video essays about why that movie is brilliant, but like I just don't have the time. But I get annoyed when there's like bad editing. But other than that, like I don't know much about the film industry, but I'm fascinated by it, and I want to listen to people that know. And I guess going back to the original point before we just went like all the way to Mordor, I wish more people would listen to people who actually knew what they were talking about. You know?
Yeah.
Especially in the gaming space, when gamers like to act like, I spent money on this, so I know what it was. I, for some reason, know what game development's like, and I know what being a game journalist is like, and I know that none of this is all that hard, you know, and it's like, no, they don't realize how difficult it is. They don't realize how any of this works, or how, like, even just how, like, a website functions on its own. Not even somewhere like where we work, but, like, just any website functions. And I don't know. Like, it is incredibly infuriating, but... And then all the armchair, like, designers on Reddit who just act like it's easy to fix said game's endgame by just clicking these buttons and beep bop boop, it's fixed. It's like, nope, it's not how it works. But
yeah,
I don't know. It is the struggle.
Hashtag the struggle. Hashtag this shit's complicated.
It is complicated. You change one thing, you can break the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it happen. As someone who's messed with Unity, which I recommend people do, it's easy to break what you're working on.
Yeah.
You change one line of code and the whole thing doesn't work.
If you have to sell mods,
It just doesn't load.
maybe
You're like,
artists
well,
will meet a similar
that was
fate.
fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should let you go to bed because it's late as hell.
Yes, I was just about to say I was finding a graceful way, like Ben Affleck in the DC movies. I'm looking for a graceful and cool way to exit this conversation.
Way out. That's funny. We should do this more often though. Just stream and talk about industry stuff. It's fun.
Sure, yeah, I'm down.
We should do that.
Let me know when.
Anyway, yeah, I bid you good night, sir.
Indeed.